Hello and welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks who play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland from Scorebook Live, Mississippi, joined as always by my co-host and best bud, Rick Cleveland of Mississippi Today fame. Dad, how's your hip?
Tyler is sore. It feels like it might be 71 years old.
Well, Rick and I did a little skiing out in Colorado last week, and when on my 10th birthday, when you took me, it was a ungroomed blue run called Ramrod that got you. This year, what was the run called?
I don't know what it was called, but it ought to be called Mogulsville.
Yeah, well, there were some ungroomed bumps on there, and Rick hit one and put him out of commission there on our third of our 4-day skiing trip. But
still had
pretty
a blast.
Fun. Had a blast out there, man. And you did pretty well up until that point. I got to give it to you. But always fun to get out there and just a beautiful place.
Says the guy who skied rings around me the whole 4 days.
Well, when you have as much practice as I do, as a boy from Mississippi has, it's pretty easy. So, Dad, with a lot going on in the sports world, a lot to get to today. I want to touch on the men's Final Four, the women's Final Four. A couple of Mississippians had pretty good weeks on the PGA Tour. We got SEC baseball is in full swing, and I hope to rebound for both of our teams here. And, I want to touch on some high school baseball recruiting news. I put together a list of the top 30 senior prospects in Mississippi over at Scorebook Live, so we're going to take a look at that as well. But let's get into it first with the big basketball news. The Final Four is set for both the women's and the men's side. I'm a little bit more excited about the women's, I'll be honest with you. We're recording this on Tuesday morning, and Monday night was just a smorgasbord of fantastic basketball on the women's side. But let's start there. We got the matchups are NC State, 3-seed NC State against 1-seed South Carolina, and 3-seed UConn against 1-seed Iowa. Let's get your picks now on the record.
I'm going to go with Iowa, and I'm going to go with South Carolina, and then I'm going to go with South Carolina.
South Carolina to beat Iowa in the championship.
Yeah, and I agree with you that right now the women's is a lot more interesting, and I think it goes back to the old thing that sports fans love star power. And the women's game, you got a bunch of players that if they were men, they would be in their second or third year of the NBA right now. But they're in college because the money's not very good in the WNBA. So, you got like Paige Beckers, yeah.
You want to call her Paige Buckets.
That's what I want to call her because that's all she does is make buckets. And Caitlin Clark and – golly, the Southern Cal.
Juju Watkins, of course, they lost out last night, and it was a pretty good game. And then I think on the other side, South Carolina may not have that singular individual talent. They are clearly, to me, the best team. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but they are far and away.
I think they're the best team, and I think they're probably the best coach team as well.
Yeah, Dawn Staley doing a great job there. Let's take a look at the men's side. On the one side, we've got 11-seed NC State, who crashed the tournament and has taken the world by storm. Really, really like their big forward that's getting all the love. He's fantastic to watch. They're playing 1-seed Purdue on one side of the bracket, and on the other side, it is tournament darling Alabama, the 4-seed against the defending national champs and 1-seeded UConn. Really, really enjoyed watching this Alabama team the past 2 rounds. Crazy about Grant Nelson, the forward, Mark Sears, the little guard. They seem to have started playing defense at the right time, and they're a really fun bunch.
Yeah, it's been a nice run.
Been a nice all you can say about it. They're about to play UConn.
It's about to end.
I think on the men's side, I think you would agree, NC State and Alabama are the fun teams, but Purdue and UConn appear to be far and away the best squads.
I think they are, and I like, you and I have been going back and forth for a week about it, and I know you like UConn, and I like Purdue. Both Final Fours should be just really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals where with the portal and the way things are working now, we're not really gonna. It's hard to follow a team from year to year. You know, you're not gonna have like a team that's really good this year. When they come back, if they're in the tournament again next year, it's not going to be the same team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it puts a lot of emphasis on just keeping track, figuring out who's good at tournament time and not so much following the teams throughout the year. But I will say this, I know it's only 1 year into the portal and all that. The product they're putting on the floor is really fun to watch.
Absolutely. It really is. And the thing that I love about the NCAA tournament and March Madness is there's always somebody like North Carolina State. I mean, they lost 14 games in the regular season.
Yeah.
14 games. In that, of course they play in the ACC, so there's a lot of opportunities to lose games. But here they are. They're one of the 4 teams left standing. And I want, for our listeners, just set the scene of us coming back from Colorado on that plane, and we're sitting across the aisle from each other, and all of a sudden you tap my shoulder across the aisle, and you've got North Carolina State playing.
Yeah.
We're in there, and we're watching. So I put it on mine, and we're slapping each other about.
It wasn't just us. There was like 20 people on that plane reacting to everything. The guy sitting behind you and me were high-fiving. It was fun to watch. Even on the way out there, we watched, I can't remember who it was that erased that giant deficit. They were down 12 with like 1 minute and 20 to go, and I watched that game. Can't even remember who it was now. It doesn't even matter. But it was a fantastic. As I say, every game's been fun to watch, and I can't say enough about it. I do think that UConn will probably it's going to be UConn or Purdue, and I really don't know who's going to win that game. I will say UConn has looked unstoppable.
They're very good. Zach Edney, the Purdue center, is clearly to me the force.
Yeah, he's a great player. How they handle him and whether or not he gets in foul trouble, I think that'll play a huge role. Got to get past Alabama and NC State first.
How about the scene of Zach Edney cutting down the net after their victory?
Flat-footed?
Yeah, he did. He didn't need a ladder. He just reached up there and started snipping.
Yeah, he's huge, man. And not just tall. He's wide too. I mean, he's a huge human.
He's a big man. He never changes expression. He just makes buckets and gets rebounds and blocks shots.
Yeah, like he's built in a lab. Let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about the Mississippians who did well on the PGA Tour. Our buddy Wilson Furr got off to a super hot start on Thursday at Houston.
Co-leader after the first day.
Yeah, he was a co-leader after the first day, kind of cooled off after that. He finished 3 under for the tournament, tied for 36th. 2 Mississippians finished ahead of him. Chad Ramey finished T17 at 7 under, and Davis Riley finished T14 at 8 under. The winner, Steven Yeager, was 12 under for the week. I mean, obviously a pretty good week for everybody. Would love to have seen somebody sneak up there in the top 10, but overall, I mean, you got 3 Mississippians there in the top 36.
I think part of that is just being comfortable playing in Houston. I mean, the courses are kind of like they are here in Mississippi, Bermuda greens. But what isn't like any course in Mississippi is there were 4 par 4s on that golf course that were 520 yards or longer.
Those are drivable for you, right?
In 3 good ones. Yeah. You give it to me 3 times and I can get there.
Well, they almost have to make them that long now because of the way the guys hit it. I mean, even a guy like Wilson, who is trying to find his way in his first year on the tour, is averaging 330 off the tee, 340, somewhere in there.
Yeah, but because the 3 Mississippians were doing so well, I was following it pretty closely on PGATour.com. And we're on those 525-yard par 4s, we're not talking about just straight, wide fairways, no hazards. These are 525-yard par 4s with water all the way down the fairway on one side or the other, and then a bunch of obstacles up around the green. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
So you're telling me PGA Tour players are good?
Wilson Furr shot 64 on that course in the first round. That's pretty good.
Newsflash from Rick Cleveland. PGA Tour golfers good at golf.
They used to have their advertisement. These guys are good.
These guys are good?
Yeah, and they are.
I'll tell you who else is good. The teams that our Mississippi baseball teams have played. For some reason, it keeps. I know Mississippi State got a game down at Gainesville. Ole Miss got swept for the first time this season. I was looking at the baseball standings this morning. Ole Miss is 18-11. State is 19-10. You would say, just looking at that both teams are pretty competitive and going to be good. Then you look at the SEC standings. Ole Miss is 3-6 and in fifth place. Mississippi State tied for third at 4-5.
That's just in their division,
right, in the West, right? Yeah. So, what I guess, do you think are these results they're getting in these SEC series, are these indicative of their ability to compete in the postseason, or is this? Do you think it's just the league's so strong and they'll get in anyway and be high seeds?
The latter.
Okay.
I think you just go back to 3 years ago, or was it 2 years ago, that Ole Miss had a losing record.
It was 2 years ago, yeah.
And then in the SEC, and then goes on and wins the whole shooting match. I mean, they're not playing well right now, and you got to be a little concerned when you get swept at home by big numbers like they did this week. But I've seen them play. I know how good they are.
Yeah.
The same goes for State. It's just every weekend you better be on your game, or you're going to get smashed.
Yeah, everybody in the West chasing Arkansas and Texas A&M right now. Did want to shout out Braden Montgomery, the Madison Central star who transferred from Stanford to Texas A&M and who is kind of lighting the world on fire. I think he's second in the nation in homers. Never forget that game he pitched against Hunter Elliott and North State at Madison Central. Kind of knew he was going to. I think he struck out 13 in a complete game win that night, and you kind of knew he was going to be a star at some point for someone, and it turns out it's Texas A&M, and right now.
He's going to be a star at the next level, too. I mean, he's one of them. He's one of those guys. He's one of them. He's a superb athlete who happens to play baseball, can do anything. Speaking of which, we had earlier in the year, we were talking about Connor Griffin, the player at Prep, who is
projected to be the first high school player taken in the Major League Baseball draft.
Yeah, and he's signed with LSU. I don't think he'll ever be there, but who knows? But the reason I brought his name up is I just checked his statistics again. Tyler, he stole 58 bases.
That's pretty good.
You think?
That's decent.
A lot of players don't get on base 58 times in a season.
Yeah. Well, they haven't played, but, I'm sure it's somewhere around 30, 35 games now.
Yeah, he's averaging almost two. Well, he may be averaging more than that, but he's averaging about 2 steals a game.
Somebody pick him off. If he's just going to steal every time.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, apparently it is. And by the way, his ERA is 0.43.
So he's a stingy thief.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's the worst kind.
He's a terrific kid and a terrific player, and when you meet him, you'll be pulling for him. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought him up. He is definitely on my list of Mississippi's top senior prospects. We did this at Scorebook Live last week. I unveiled the 30 top senior prospects in baseball in Mississippi. An interesting list that obviously includes Connor, who would be right at the top of it if it were numbered, although it's not. I wanted to look at one thing. I was doing the breakdown on it. 5 kids on this list committed to Ole Miss. 5 kids on this list committed to Southern Miss, or signed, I guess, at this point. 11 kids going out of state for college baseball. Division I level. 8 kids signed with JUCO, just 1 with Mississippi State. I was looking at the potential list for next year, and it includes a lot of Mississippi State signees. But just thought it was interesting that in this, just this one-off class, and maybe they're doing some more recruiting out of state, but only 1 kid. Usually when you would do a list like this, they would all be committed to state.
Yeah, a lot of yeah.
And if some of them wouldn't end up there, but almost all of them. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on that. I thought it was an interesting statistic.
Well, I think it's an anomaly that that's that way, and it's probably because they've got some guys, that they already know they're going to get next year, and probably because they have gotten some really good players from out of state would be my guess.
Yeah, I think Mississippi State is the best team in the state right now.
I do too, right now.
I mean, I know they got a big series with Ole Miss later in the year. I mean, I think they'll settle it there. But right now, as of today, I think they're playing the best and are probably our best shot at getting another team back to Omaha.
I tell you what, I've watched Southern Miss a good bit here in the last couple of weeks, and it may not be this year, but boy, they have a lot of really good freshmen and sophomore players.
I think they're a great team, but they can't. With their schedule and the way it's set up, there's games they can lose and games they can't lose. And when it comes to RPI and putting themselves in the right position. And, you watch that series with Troy, and Troy is like a pretty good baseball team.
Really good team.
Yeah, with a terrible RPI. And their strength of schedule is trash. So they win 2 out of 3, beat a pretty good team. Their number doesn't move
it goes down.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So I at this point, yes, Southern Miss is probably just one step below Mississippi State in terms of my tier rankings of teams. I think they're really good, but they're in a situation where they just can't lose. And that's not, Mississippi State can go down to Florida, take 1 of 3, and their RPI doesn't, it's not
goes up.
Right. So that's just kind of the hand they're dealt at this point. But until they, I think Southern Miss would have to be, I'm sure they've lost 10 or 11 games. They've
lost 10, I think.
Right. So they would need to be whatever in 5 to have their RPI be even, it's just a tough situation until they just start dominating against those low RPI teams. I just don't see, they're going to have to win the conference if they don't.
Well, it's, how many times do we say it over the course of the spring? It's baseball. You're not just going to dominate every time. You're not going to. I don't care who you're playing. It's baseball. You're going to lose a game when you play a team like Troy that's got 4 or 5 really sluggers that can really swing it, and you're going to lose one of those probably.
Well, then I guess it would behoove them to play the hardest schedule in the entire country if they're going to lose them if they're going to lose some games anyway.
The only problem with that is you have to play the teams in your league.
Right. I know. Well, that's it's tough situation to be in. I do think they're a tournament team.
Oh, I think they are too, unless they fall flat. Now they're freshmen and sophomores. A lot of their best players.
They do not have a Tanner Hall either.
No, they don't. They don't have a Tanner Hall, but very few teams do.
Well, Florida does.
Yeah.
Well, Dad, that's about all we got for this week. What are you looking forward to the most this next weekend?
Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to watching both the Final Fours. I'm glad it's a Friday, Sunday, and Saturday, Monday thing, so you can watch them both. I think they got that. At least they got that part of it right. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Oh, man, Mom's going to love that.
Oh, she's going to hate it, but you know what? She'll get over it.
Just turn the sound down for her. She doesn't like the squeaky.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some great high school baseball this week. We've got a couple of big series that are going to help decide some regions here in Mississippi. And then this weekend, I'm looking forward to the basketball. I'm hoping this weather holds off. I'd love to play some golf if you can swing it.
I hope to too. I'm going to see how my lingering hip issue is. I'm looking forward to golf. And by the way, you know what is next weekend? Not this weekend, but next weekend.
I do. I've had it circled on the calendar all year, and I always do.
We're talking Masters, and we will have Randy Watkins in here next week to talk about it.
Maybe he can give you some advice and some pain management on your golf swing as well.
Well, I can tell you this about Randy. He's had plenty of experience of playing with pain.
I do too. It's just emotional and not physical.
Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody have a good week out there. Stay safe. You can check out all of Rick's latest writings over at MississippiToday.org. Check out his newsletter that just came out. It's highly entertaining about the tournament.
April Fool's Day.
That's right. And you can check out all of my work over at scorebooklive.com/Mississippi. Thanks to the good folks at Blue Sky Studios who produce this show every week. Y'all have a good one out there and stay safe.